Oh my god! There's a new Death Note show for Netflix. I didn't know about this at all, actually. I didn't even want to make a video today. But now I have to. Hello everyone. Good morning. How are you? So, it's March 22nd, 2017, and an hour ago, Netflix just released a brand new trailer for their show, Death Note, based off of the anime. Now, before I get into this, let me just tell you a few anecdotes. I'm coughing a lot. I'll tell you why. Because I was watching this while drinking water, and there were a few scenes that actually made me choke. And the water still in my lungs. Alright, I feel better. So, I'm literally, like, I just watched the trailer 5 seconds ago or something like that, and now I need to make a video about it, like, immediately, based off of my feelings instead of a script, which could be a terrible, terrible idea. We'll see. Okay, so, first of all, let me just tell you my history with Death Note. I love Death Note. I thought that show was one of the best animes I've ever seen. I think for an anime, it was the most well-written show I've ever seen. And also, the voice acting was superb. Like, I always thought the voice actor for Kira and the voice actor for L and just every character in that show, they performed their role amazingly. Like, it was so goddamn superb. I can't even, like, stress that word enough. It is so fucking amazing. And so, after, you know, a few events happened in Death Note that I won't spoil, I kind of lost interest in the show. It just sort of seemed like it was going through a downward spiral, and I'm kind of glad that so many Death Note fans agreed with me, because as I was watching that, I was like, this doesn't really feel like Death Note anymore. It just kind of feels like some weird parody or like some dumb sequel to the show. And it was one of the few shows, or rather one of the few animes that I mentioned while talking about the live action shit back in my other video about the JoJo anime coming to fruition. And that was one of the few films that I mentioned where I saw the live action film and I thought, it wasn't that great. It was just like typical kind of shitty. It was like one of the first Japanese anime films I've ever seen, and I just thought it was kind of, I don't know if it's for me. I think it's more for Japanese audiences, and I just sort of dismissed it. And now Netflix is coming out with a brand new show based entirely off the manga, but this time based in America. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna complain and say, oh, they're whitewashing it. They're making white people the main characters. It's like, you know what? Shut the fuck up. They made a live-action movie with Asian characters. You wanna talk about, like, accuracy and not whitewashing or anything like that? How about you go fucking watch the live-action film? And listen, if we're really gonna bitch about this show whitewashing every character, then how about we complain about the fact that they're blackwashing too, because L is black. So, you know, fuck off with your double standards, motherfucker. This is a spin on the Death Note thing, and I feel like it's more of a respectable tribute to the show and the anime and the manga itself. I feel like if it can be done super well, it could, like, be right up there next to the manga and the anime, and, I don't know, for some of you who like the live-action show, the live-action movie too. I feel like this does have potential. I don't have a problem with Americans reconstructing a show to fit an American point of view. Like, I really don't care. Sometimes some of the best shit we get is based off of things that we saw in Japan and just Americanized it. That's not a bad thing. If you can make your own spin and do it well, awesome, man. But there are a few things that I'm not going to be ignorant about. One of those being that it seems like Death Note takes place in high school. Whereas, yes, Kira, or rather Light Yagami, he is a teenager when the show starts, but he goes into college, and then we see him grow into an actual adult with a job as an investigator. You know, we see this character grow. It's not just about him and his high school life. Rather, it's about him having this power that makes him a megalomaniac. And I think that's far more interesting than a high school setting. And it worries me a lot. Like, I hope it's not like, oh, Light Yagami was being, I don't know, her Light Johnson. because it takes place in America now. Light Johnson was being abused by his classmates, and now he's getting revenge. Like, I hope that's not the setting, because Death Note is so much more than that. It is about a man who believes he is God. There's a lot more religious themes to it and a lot more conflict, and it's sort of similar. I know it's so crazy to say this, but this story is similar to Superman's story. It's about a man being a god and how he can control that. But unlike Superman, he's not doing it for good. He's doing it for his own intent. Now, he's not doing it to be rich or anything like that, but he's being a man who thinks he is God, and he's just smiting sinners like he fucking owns the world. He's a maniac. As much as he likes to convince himself that he's only killing criminals, he's a fucking lunatic. But if this Netflix show is just gonna be about Light Johnson, about him just in his high school life, getting mad pussy and killing his high school bullies, then this show's gonna suck ass. And you know, I said that I'm so for Americanizing stuff as long as it's done well. But if this is done trash, like, it's Light Johnson, he's getting so much pussy, he's gonna kill so many people, I don't want this show to be some sort of American drama show, you know, like 90210 but with death notes. Like, it'd be so shit. I would hate this show so much. There's a lot to worry about. There really is. But right now, from the impression I get, I feel like there's some sort of respect for this show. By looking at the character, by looking at the setting, there's some hint of religious things going on. Not really. But I feel like there's something to this, that there is a hint of love to it. I'm being naive, maybe, but I want to believe. I guess in a sense, I don't really want this Death Note live action show to be a word for word play of like the Japanese version of the show, because I feel like that would just be boring. That'd be like if it were The Ring, you know? The Ring and Ringu are like the same fucking movie. Same with The Grudge. The Grudge was the exact same fucking movie as the Grudge from the Japanese film. It's boring. And I understand that back then they didn't really care because, you know, not many people were interested in overseas movies, but nowadays we're so much more interested in it. I just feel like that would be an incredible mistake. And, you know, I doubt that it's going to be a word-for-word play of the exact same anime because of the fact that it takes place in high school. And it makes me kind of wonder if this is actually a sequel to the show, because I don't even know if the main character's name is Light Yagami or something. It says, based on the famous Japanese manga written by Tsugami Oba and Takeshi Obata, Death Note follows a high school student who comes across a supernatural notebook, realizing it holds within a great power. So it's an unnamed character. We don't know if it's actually Light Johnson or whatever the fuck. So it gives me some hope, but there are some shots in this that are just like, oh god, they're gonna just fuck it all up. But regardless of that, when this comes out, I don't even know when it's coming out, but when it does come out, I assure you, my dear subscribers, that I will watch it. I want to review the shit out of that. I want to make sure to review the shit out of that because I am so fascinated. It probably is going to suck so bad. But hey, who cares? I love the show, so I'm just going to watch it anyway. So yeah, let's do it. In fact, while we're at it, let's check out who is in this film. For one thing, it's really cool that Willem Dafoe is apparently the voice of Ryuk, which is fucking cool. This role was literally made for him. The moment that Willem Dafoe was born was the moment that Ryuk was conceived. That is just incredible. Now, apparently the director is Adam Wingard from Blair Witch, You're Next. Was that a good film? Blair Witch, I don't think that was a good film. Nat Wolf, never heard of that. Leftover, I never heard of any of these guys. Wait. Pirates of the Caribbean. Paul Nakauchi. Hey, that's a Japanese name, and that's a Japanese guy. Suck on that, social justice dweebs. There is going to be a Japanese guy, so it's not totally whitewashed, so how about you go fuck off? I mean, still majority, it's American, but, you know, there's one Japanese guy. I'm assuming he's going to be, like, a detective or something, but I don't know. Probably goes back to the theory that this may be a sequel. I don't know. Whatever. Alright, thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a like. If you enjoyed it really hard, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, and I have a book. You could read that. It's not a Death Note. It's just a book that I've worked really hard on, and you could support it on my GoFundMe page. Alright, thank you all so very much for watching. I will see you all next time. I love y'all. Bye-bye.